years ago now, and in amongst the odd megalomaniacal computer and or the odd bone of contention, all kinds of other things. It's mainly been Klein I've gone back to do, and had a complete ball all the time, standing in separate booths, which is quite unusual these days. You literally have your own little wardrobe to go in and shut the door, and you have a glass window to the next person, which if you're very lucky is Sylvester McCoy. So you spend the whole day giggling, and you get fed wonderful lunches. And if you're me, you have to find the energy all vocally, so you stand on your feet and you bounce around and you do, and then you occasionally get Toby going, could you just be a bit quieter? But basically I've been having a lot of fun for a great many years, and I hope I continue to do so. Was that sucking up enough?
Yeah. I mean, next, you know, but you are very good at getting work, you know that.
I have to say, every time we get to the end of anything, I go, now, isn't that interesting? You see, what Klein needs to do now is go in this direction, and she needs a whole new trilogy.
Well, and that's right, and for the Sherlock Holmes, when you did the Adventure of the Perfidious Mariner,
yes,
you got yourself a job in the next Sherlock Holmes thing as well.
Yes.
As
yes.
Mrs.
Edgar Caversham. And as far as I'm concerned, she can crop up in any Sherlock Holmes you care to do.
Yeah. But also, you know, Unit Dominion, which you did, that came about. I came to one of the recordings that you were at, and I wasn't directing or anything, and you were so charming and lovely, and I heard a bit of what you were doing. I said, well, we have to get her back, don't we? So,
Blimey, that worked. I behaved for 5 minutes, and that was the 5 minutes he was there. Good. It was that wonderful thing of kind of finishing Klein, and I don't want to spoil things, because I know some people have just started at the beginning, but there comes a wonderful paradox, whereby, therefore, her past no longer really exists. And so I said, ooh, well, this means she can now go from being a baddie to being a goodie to... And we've been, 14 years later, we're still running, aren't we, Nick?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Now, just to confuse you all, let's go to the other end. I don't want to leave Simon until last, because he's got that face on.
So the question was, what have I done over the years for Big Finish? Well, I've sent them a lot of stamped addressed envelopes. There's clearly a stamp collector. No, as for recording the stories, over the years, of course, I've been listening. Absolutely marvellous. And saying, oh, I'd love to do it, I'd love to do it. And I bumped into Gary Russell, who said, one day he said, I got the perfect script, and then there's this character in this story, and I think you're absolutely perfect for it. I said, oh, that's what he said, yes, a psychotic elevator. So that was the first story I did, Iris Wildtime story, and of course met the wonderful zany, that's the politest term, Katie Manning, and that was fantastic. And then I was asked to do a Gallifrey story, and I was the Minister of Science. That's it.
Yay! Okay, and sorry about the stamps. How many?
Well, you must know most of them very well by now. Yeah,
Or we must get you to do more. Steve,
yeah.
You now, you know, when you're, I don't know, is he working? Is there a switch? Yes, good. You know, when you moan about not getting much work from Big Finish, I tell you to type your name into the search engine on the site and see how many times it turns up. So you've done loads for us, haven't you, right from the beginning?
Well, Big Finish, yes. I go back to the second story that Big Finish ever did, which was of Bernice Summerfield, playing a kind of robot drone, which then I think gave Gary the idea for something to carry on in the Bernices, which then became Joseph, who obviously was a lovely regular character, which I think a lot of people have come up today and said how much they love Joseph, which is really sweet. But then, of course, there were Doctor Who's in the meantime. The very first one was just after that, which was Phantasmagoria.
Bing!
Bing! Yes, Bing vases. Apparently, a lot of people do like my Bing vases. That's not a euphemism, by the way. So yes, so the Bernie Summerfields became a regular, and then Doggles turned up, who I really enjoyed playing, and Gallifrey is also another regular series for me, playing Valiers. So, you know, Big Finish has been a wonderful place to be over the years, and lots of fabulous, lots of Doctor Who's and things as well, but I think Gallifrey is one of the things I'm most proud of, because it seems to have such a great following, great fan base. Lots of people that have said, have come up and had deep conversations about Gallifrey.
That's the brilliant thing, isn't it? About Big Finish Day as well. You know, it's dedicated to us, and we're really pleased that you all turned up.
Today, it's about Big Finish and about the productions they put out, and the fans who listen to it and love it, of which we all thank you. And meeting people who want to come up and discuss your character in a Big Finish is fantastic, isn't it? Over to you.
Am I allowed?
Yeah, go on.
Am I next in line?
Yeah, go on. I'm very.
Sorry,
Who's taking control?
No, well, I've over the years, from the very beginning, it will be coming up for 16 years that I've been playing Bernie Summerfield, so I thank you. I really, really do thank you. And over the years, I've also been lucky enough, and I'm very, very fond of the series Jago and Lightfoot, which I've been involved with, which I've been directing and appearing as Ellie. Sorry about that. And that was foisted on me, but I'm not going to complain. I'm really, really pleased to be involved. And over the years, the odd monster voice on Gallifrey and bits and bobs all over the place. But all I can say is it is a goodly chunk of my career, and for that I am truly and eternally grateful, not only to Big Finish, but you chaps, because without you, we would not be here. I know it's a corny old phrase, but it's true. And audio is singularly my favourite medium, and I'm so glad that people agree with that. That's all I have to say.
Well, since we're going back that way, Tom.
Hello. Yes, it's all a bit of a blur. Well, especially today, because sometimes it's the Bond, sometimes it's Doctor Who, sometimes Stone Tape, which apparently has gone out on video now. So I'm signing up on a thing. I think Big Finish was quite a long time ago I started with them. Was the one I did with Nigel Havers and Julia Mackenzie, was that Big Finish?
Yes,
yes, that's the one I did. Yes, I did.
No More Lies, yes, that's right.
No More, yes, that's right. And also with lovely Liz Slade, and that was that Big Finish?
Yes, it certainly was.
Oh, well, then that's the other one I've done with Big Finish.
And got the late seven.
Well, yes, we may be.
We may.
Awful to jinx anything, but we may be working together later on. I think we may, because I found out that one of the popular from Lake Seven. Yes, no, I know really. It's Del Grant, who has a lot of followers and a character that I really, really love. I don't know. We're hoping to develop it, and I've done a super one with Paul Darry, who I've known for 40 odd years. We were in the theatre together many, many, many years ago, and we have such fun when it gets a bit camp, to be honest.
No, really?
No, but
Lake Seven, surely.
No. So that's fun. No, I mean, the big thing about it is no lines to learn, baby. You just sit down there, you read it off, and then that's it. Okay. So yes, and David and Ken are wonderful, and David Richardson. And I just love doing it. I love going to the studios. As you say, you have your own little space. Yeah, it's nice. You just remember to take the room spray when you go. So yeah, it's been a joy, and it's been a joy today to see you all. I love to talk to the fans, and, you know, about anything. It can be the BBC, or it can be Bond, or it can, I mean, you name it, I'll talk about it. So,
flower arranging.
Yeah.
John Banks. Hey, John Banks. Yes. You've played many, many parts for Big Finish.
Oh, well, yes I have, but I kind of feel like the new boy, which is appropriate enough, because I am. I started in 2009, and you gave me my first job on paper cuts. I was working with Colin, and you know, as a cheeky actor that I am, I kind of thought, wow, this would be great, this is such a good part, you know, it's going really well. He gets lots of scenes with Colin Baker, it's fantastic. There's got to be a spin-off series for this guy, they could do so much with him. A couple of pages later, the noble sacrifice turned up, and he's dead as a doornail. And I thought, you know, that was great, I really enjoyed it, I had an absolutely wonderful time doing it, and I thought, wow, I'd be so lucky if they ever get in touch again. Oh, should I write another letter? You know, what should I do? How am I going to get my next job? Maybe they hated me. Maybe it was awful. And very soon after, I got another little phone call, and would you like to come and do something else? And it's been fantastic. It's been a fantastic journey, and thank you to Nick and to Lisa, we did our first Jago and Lightfoot Series 1 box set one together.
That was it, very much in the first one.
And I can't tell you actually. It's become my life really. It's taken over almost completely. I mean, I am doing other things. I've done other theatre in that time, but since 2009, gosh, just so many things really, and they've all been fantastic. You know, every time I sort of see another script, it's like a little Christmas present. It's a gift that comes through. You know, I now get it through the internet, but it's such a pleasure because I've said before, you know, the care that goes into creating these scripts. It's just, as an actor, it is truly a privilege to be given that sort of treat to work on. And it's never, I've never felt blasé about anything. I've never assumed that I'll get another job. I've never assumed that I'll be invited back. And everything has come as truly a fantastic gift. And as Lisa said, I'm deeply, deeply appreciative, not only of the guys at Big Finish, but of all of you guys as well, because obviously we don't do this in a vacuum. And it's so lovely to meet people who are so enthusiastic, you know, to come here and, you know, the weather's not great, to be so enthusiastic all day is just indicative, I think, of the kind of effect that Big Finish has had on people and the kind of, you know, sort of family feel that the whole company has. And that's Nick and it's David, particularly, because those are the guys who put everything together and organise everything so brilliantly. And, you know, this is a bit of a love fest, I guess, for all of us, isn't it? And it is great thanks to you, Nick. I mean, it's such a joy to work with you guys. And you know, Nick's script...
It's another job.
I just want to say...
He will be hiring you again.
He won't
say something nice about
Let me just finish by saying that Nick's script, The Great War, is up for a BBC Drama Award. And how amazing is that? Big